Welcome back to Ragstones NSE, everyone, and in today's episode we are going to fit a Hornby TXS decoder and speaker to this really nice Hornby Class 50 loco. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail here, hence why you can see the brochures. It's a really great loco. 2003 this was released, so I'm just going to show you this. This is why I collect the brochures. So the model was released in 2003, but not very well done, if I'm honest. That's the page it got given. Sort of greyed out images. Here's our one, the Achilles Class 50 weathered. No mention of DCC ready though. Move along a year to the 50th anniversary brochure, and here they are making a much more fuss of the situation on a full 2-page spread. Here's our one, the weathered version. Again, no mention of DCC ready, but by the time the 2005 and 6 catalogues come out, it has reference to the DCC ready. Now I believe this is an original 2003 version, and we're going to open it up in a moment and replace the chip that's already in there with a Hornby TXS and a power bank. Can I unbox it now? Now it's interesting, in this transition period where they went into their kind of what I call their cream and red design, they still behind the scenes had the old 90s boxing, which I think is quite an interesting way that they did it. So the outer card covers the box, and I've got quite a lot of the models where this has happened, and I think it's quite a good way of doing it. They literally modernised the look and feel of their packaging by putting a sheath around the older one. Now it's still got the original polystyrene box that splits with the clear plastic over the top of the window. I wonder why they didn't carry on doing that, to be honest with you, because we've all had problems with the existing one. So that just comes off the top. Off comes the thing, and there's the loco. It's so easy to get out. Nothing gets broken. Yeah. Anyway, back in a moment. All right, so she's out of the box. Instructions. So this was a model that we picked up at Great Eastern Models when we went on our much documented Norwich expedition. And I just couldn't turn it away really for the price, and it already has a decoder in it which will come out, and I'm probably put that in my box of bits. But the fact that I'm going to give this a really good update with TXS HM7000 with the Stay Alive inside it, and a better speaker than what it would have had if it had been done with TTS. Yeah, great little model. Can't wait to get it on the railway. So we're going to take it apart, and I'm going to show you how to do this basically with a couple of old credit cards that are cut into two. We slide them in between each of the clips that hold the casing over the top of the chassis. I think in the instructions it shows that as it doesn't actually show it. That's interesting. It shows you how to put the accessories in, which I have. No, that's incredible. I thought it would have had. Oh no, it does. There it is, there, and there. So we'll do that in a moment. So yeah, that's all you need. 4 credit cards, preferably without the embossed numbers on. They need to be flat. So there it is. Not particularly flattering, but what you do is you slide the cards in when you find a way into the between the clips. Do not ever use screwdrivers. It has to be something flat, and you have to work your way into it, feeling where the clip is, and then you push down with your credit cards. Now I can't do this because my camera's not set up on the tripod, but it will be in a minute, and then I'll show you how to pull the weight of the loco pull itself out of the case, which I learned as a little trick from my model railway club that I go to. The train servicing cradle here, which I've shown in a couple of other videos, worth spending a bit of money on that. Right, that's all right. Here we go. That is going to come out now. I can already feel it. There we go. Look how easy that is. It really is easy. Now, it's just holding in position there. I might have to take it out of view of the camera a minute while I look at this. Sorry about that. That was a bit of a schoolboy error. So basically, I don't know, that power coupling there, and there's one, the other one was actually still stuck in the loco. I should have clipped it first. Now, I have not got this case off. I think it has a working fan. That's impressive for a nearly 20-year-old model. There's the decoder port, so we'll have that out in a minute, and obviously this will go into my little box, and then we're going to fit the speaker and everything in a moment. Okay, so the Hornby TXS, I know I've covered this in other videos, but I wanted this to be a really good detailed one. It comes in a pack, and you get your abundance of instructions. I think Hornby have had to redevelop and update these so many times, because on the original ones you got maybe this one, but there's so many supplements now where people have had issues with them. To be fair though, these more recent ones have been a lot more stable. You get the controller, the decoder, the speaker, which is the sugar cube speaker, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 apertures that you can use, 5, 6 apertures that you can use. I'm going to try and fit the biggest one in here. Now I've noticed that the loco, I've only really got that space there to play with, because this fan unit, which actually I've just realised runs off of the motor, is taking up the space that I would have normally considered to put the fan, the speaker. So I will be back in a moment when I've worked out what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to try and fit the speaker here. It looks like it was made for it. I've had to nip off the little securing tabs, but this will be attached with some adhesives. But I always do this with blue tack first, just to make sure it runs okay. Then I go back and I update it. So this now has to be stuck. So you take that off and you stick it to the inside of this, so the speaker, I guess, is emitting its sound into this box. I've then got to work out where to put the stay alive. So the speaker, I think is the little one, goes there, and the stay alive goes in there. So it's going to be quite tight in here. I have fitted the pins. Remember to always connect pin number 1 to number 1. On this model, it has an arrow pointing to the number 1 pin. If anyone's wondering why I've got this on my fingers, it's because I've been painting Network Southeast rubbish bins for the station. Anyway, when you clip them in to the little sockets, they do make a slight clicking sense, having a clicking sensation. Make sure you get that, because you don't want to find that one of these is not in properly when you've rigged everything up. It's a pain in the backside. So yes, now I'm going to attach the speaker, make sure that the case fits on top loosely, and then we're going to put it on the programming track and get the chip working. Interesting feature, they've revised the instructions. The other one was non-English language. This is much clearer than what it was before. Also noticed it says, please note, additional speakers connected to the loco board will still function accordingly in parallel. Didn't know that. So if you come across a loco that's already got speakers attached to it as part of the circuit board, happy days. You then don't need to use your sugar cube speaker that they supply. Now that has happened to me in one loco on a Bachmann, one of the Bachmann 4 VEPs that I had, or 6. That already had a speaker in it, and obviously that was much better than the one that they give to you. And then there's how you attach the little speaker to that. So I'm about to do this bit now. It's all back in there. I had to fiddle around a little bit to get the stay alive in, but I managed to get it underneath the PCB. So this is why I don't permanently attach any of that stuff until I know that it's been working properly. So we're going to upload it into the HM7000, get it to run round. I'm probably going to have it running around for at least half hour. Then I'm going to take this off and then have a look to see what's been going on underneath. And then if everything's fine, then I'll permanently attach the speaker and the stay alive in there. But very, very fortunate that everybody fitted in there, everything fitted in there properly. All right, so we're ready to go now. So train is on the test track. HM7000 apps is running on my iPad. Just thought I'd show you these little signs that I've got, which are really cool. I should be putting those somewhere else around the layout. They're made out of metal, and then the design is printed over the top. I don't know where I'm going to put them yet, but they look quite cool there. Anyway, loco ready, HM7000 ready. So what I need to do is energize the track. So I will turn on the power. So the power comes from my Z21. So as soon as I click this green button here, that will energize the programming track, he says. Some of the other stuff's just come on. Might have to turn that off in a minute. It's quite funny. What has it? Oh yeah, I've got to show you this. So everything's just woken up, even though it shouldn't have done. So the Western Pullman's on. Got to go in and turn that off quickly. Hold on. Back, sorry. So the HM7000 based TXS trains all came to life because the controller was on and I'd had them already set, so I've turned them all off now so we don't have all that noise going on. Right, okay, so what we should be doing here is linking a new device. So you go to link device and we start to scan, and it's found it straight away, which is good. Because if that doesn't happen, then you know there's a connection issue somewhere in the loco. But the fact it found it straight away is incredible. So I will show you this step by step. So it's linking, and it will probably tell me it needs to do a firmware update. That's relatively normal. And I shall pause. Yep, so that's linked, and it, as I say, it needs a firmware update and an AP-ROM firmware update. So you click Start Update, and it will do that relatively quickly. Firmware update is done very quickly, but I will pause and then come back. We don't want the video taking up for all of this. Just going to let this finish while we're on the screen. So that took about 2 minutes. Roughly 1 second per 1% on the Bluetooth, and the AP-ROM much quicker. So now we're done. It's going to ask me to power cycle the loco. So I'm going to literally lift it off. I have to wait 30 seconds because this has got a stay alive in it. So again, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I waited a minute just to make sure that my the stay alive didn't keep the chip up and running. It's come back online. I've got the little Bluetooth blue icon. If it's red, you know it's not connecting. And now we've got a fresh profile to give a profile to, which is going to be obviously a class 50. So I'm going to just get the right options up and then come back to the video. If when you power cycle the loco it loses the menu that it was on, go back to manage devices and find the device that you need. So these are all my other HM7000 chips, and you can see a couple of them are alive at the moment. There are other trains on the layout, but the one that we just added is this one here, and you can see that it's missing missing a few things, which is why it sometimes confuses people. So what we're going to do is we're going to browse profiles, and we're going to find the TXS diesel for a class 50. There she is. And I'm going to install the locomotive profile. This decoder's not Just 2 seconds. Right, it had momentarily disconnected itself, so I'm back to where I was before. So the Class 50, it is shown as connected. Now I'm going to install the locomotive profile. Now this takes ages, depending on how good your internet connection is. So it's going to update that AP-ROM again, which is going to take probably less than a minute. As you can see, that's the really important part. And then this SPIR ROM, or ROM, SP ROM, whatever, will take a while. It could take up to 30 minutes depending on your, so I'm going to come back in about 25 minutes. Right, that finished, and it's asking me, would you like to fetch and import the latest locomotive profile function map? Well, yes, we would. And that says, okay, now what we have to do is power cycle again. And dismiss that one. That is now ready to go. So it's got no picture at the moment. Let's just we're about to test it, I think. So scroll to the end, there's the new loco. I always test the lights are on. And we might as well just test it. So I always like using automatic function control, because that just sets everything up. Wow. So that speaker is about there. I think this has got no, it isn't on that side, but anyway, the speaker is about here. Just gonna move it forward and see what happens. Yeah. Okay, right. I'm pretty happy with that. While I'm here, I'm just going to turn the volume down a little bit. So I think it's this one. I think if I scroll down a bit, there's the volume. I'll take it down to 40. Bit less. Bit less. 25, that'll do for now. What you don't want to do is have the speaker blasting itself to bits. They do only go up to a certain volume. This one seems to be happy packed in the back of the loco here, and it is in that larger aperture or whatever speaker box. So it probably can handle a bit of volume, but I don't want to push my luck. I've done it before and I've broken one. I had one in the back of a tender in a steam loco, and I thought I was merrily turning up the volume and it was sounding really good, and then it didn't sound good. Right, next bit of part of the video we'll be putting it onto the layout. So I'm just going to turn this off for a sec. I forgot to mention, we need to give it a loco address and a name, which I will do. You can see I've now put an image in there, which is quite cool, so that I can distinguish it between that one and the Achilles scale, even though they will run on different different decoder systems, controller systems even. So yeah, but it's been sitting there for 10 minutes now, chugging away, no sign of any issues, no heat, no problems with it. So it really is going to be, the quicker I get it onto the track now. But I wanted to just highlight that, and also, and I didn't mention it at the beginning, always make sure your smart device is set to not go into standby throughout any of the process that we went through earlier. I have had that happen. It buggers up the decoder, and you have to then hard reset it. And then in one case, when I very first started on this journey, it completely crashed the software, and I lost all of my locos. So lesson to be learnt there. I have this iPad on, so it can't go to sleep. Obviously I can still turn it off, but I guess you guys know what I'm talking about. There she is, splendid. Front lights, got the I don't know what they call that, the head code, where the head code would have been, I guess. Lights, and a really decent sound in there now. It is smooth as well for an early one. It's good. It's all rigged up in here now. Oops, scroll out a little bit. As I say, always use that you will be amazed. It brings the whole thing to life. You get a little toot as the the loco pulls away. Sorry, it's a bit stairs there. So yeah, I'm going to run it round now, but I'm just going to pull it out of the station and just watch it go past. Oh, I did turn the sound down a bit more to global volume 15. It was still too loud. Right. There she goes. Not too fast. We're not going to get too fast. I will put it up to speed. Here we go. Just a bit more. Very happy with that. I've not had a class 50 on a TXS before, and I have to say that triple sound really does bring it to life. And obviously the speaker, the sugar cube speaker, bunged up the back of the top of the casing, is worked out really well as well. So I'm going to go back in there and don't really come around this side of the layout. Go back in there and glue everything up properly. I'll use that black stuff. It's kind of like a gooey. It's good enough to hold it into position permanently, but you know that if you ever need to get it out, you can. So that's what I'm going to do. You can buy it in tape form now as well. So it's going to go under the town. Come through the other side. Comes a little bit of a close up of what's going on. Through the station, to move everything out the way. Yep. And I'm going to basically leave that running now for about 20 minutes, see what happens. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you've got any questions about HM7000, fitting these things, don't need to see that, fitting the things, please ask me in the comments. There are more experts out there than me, but yeah, I've done enough now to know how to do it if it works well, and I also know what to do if they go wrong. Goodbye.